this film is actually a bit more action heavy than pretty much all the other actors. And,
Totally.
And I'm curious, just when you were kind of getting it, when you were in like the big fight scene with
Right.
Mark Ruffalo, were you totally into it, or at some point did it eventually say like, man, I kind of wish I was back to my trailer?
Mostly into it. 92% into it. 8% like I'm done with just getting bruised and just running around constantly. But I've played sports my whole life, and so to be able to like use some of those skills towards acting, it was awesome for me. And I remember, while we were filming that sequence, I remember thinking like, why would I want to do these like dramatic films where I'm like crying all day when I could be, flipping over tables and like kicking the shit out of Mark Ruffalo. And so yeah. And but the two of us, we went through a journey doing that scene. Like I remember towards the beginning of the scene, I throw him into a fridge, and I threw him a little too hard, and he ended up hurting his shoulder. And like the next hour or so got a little more real, where like when we were grappling with each other, like it got a little aggressive. And by the end of the day, we were like, let's get a beer, let's unwind. So yeah, we went through a whole relationship while filming that scene.
And it seemed like a very choreographed scene also.
It was.
And so, I mean, how much training did you have to go through, and like what was the whole process?
We pretty much from day one, we started rehearsing that whole sequence, and we through maybe a month straight of like any time we had off, we would meet up with the stunt coordinators, just because when you're on the set that day, you want it to feel secondhand. You don't want to be thinking about every little move you're doing. And again, though, like it was the most fun I had during the whole movie, and I would love to do like a full-on action movie where we were doing that every day for months.
And I mean, and you also got to do some card throwing also.
Right.
Was that real? I mean, how much of that?
That was, I mean, I can definitely throw cards pretty well now. That took a lot of time too, but there are like obviously CGI'd moments. For example, when throw a card into the audience and it slices a pencil in half. But I did get weirdly pretty good at throwing cards, where like I can cut like a banana in half now.
Oh, nice.
And
It's a valuable skill.
I guess, yeah, something that like I'll probably use like once every 4 years.
Exactly.
But like that one time, it'll be memorable for the people around, maybe.
And it's something you do in like hotel room where you're just like bored and just
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally.